welcome to another fiddle lesson. Today I'm going to do a lesson on bowing and ways that you can add accenting to your playing, to your songs and tunes to make it sound more interesting and cooler and have more fun with it. So there's many ways you can reinvent tunes. Like we're going to take a basic tune like Arkansas Traveler. You can add double stops, slides, turns, even sort of like add kind of more melodic invention. But I think the most useful thing and the very best thing is, besides just knowing the tune well and having the basic version sound really good, is to add accent patterns. So you can take a tune like Arkansas Traveler and kind of bring it to life. So I'm just going to give you some ideas, some practice ideas, things you can do, and then show you how you can practice them with some simple scales, and then show you how you can apply them to some simple tunes. We're going to work with the tunes Arkansas Traveler, and then for the jig type things we'll work with the tune Kesh Jig. So it would be really good if you learn those. It would help a lot with this video. You don't necessarily need to, but if you want to learn Arkansas Traveler or Kesh Jig, I'll post a link below in the comments field for videos I've done for that. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do with accenting is just get you playing eighth notes on the D string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Hold on, let me get my tambourine. My percussion section. Okay, drummer, let's go. Plant your left hand here. Don't even think about fingering for now. Just concentrate on the bow. So that's your pulse. That's your basic pulse that we're going to use throughout today. Today's lesson. So the first thing we're going to do is add accents on the downbeats. The 1, 3, 4. On the 1 and the 3. Accent by a little press. It's actually a little bit tricky because since they're all separate bows, when you do that, naturally that accented note's going to use up a little bit more bow. And so you kind of have to play catch up a little bit on that up bow, and you kind of have to do that a little bit of a skim almost. I've never really thought this through until this video lesson. That you kind of are playing catch up on that first up bow after the accented note. I'm going to try to slow it down a lot. Alright, so that's a downbeat accent. And that's a great way to just practice accenting in general. If you're new to this, I recommend really stopping right now and just doing that a ton. And if you want a way to practice it more besides just on an open string, you can do 4 notes on a D scale with that same accent, like. Or any other scale you're working on, a minor scale, major scale, klezmer scale. I call that basic rhythm the train, where you have 4/8 notes going up and down or something. And it's the on-beat train because it's on the beat, it's on the 1 or the 3. And if you listen to like rock music or anything, it's where the kick drum or the bass drum usually falls, like boom, would be the snare. Snare is typically on 2 and 4, and that's kind of called the offbeat. Alright, so we're going to stay on the beat, but we're going to do a new pattern. We're going to do hoedown. So hoedown is just long, short, short, long, short, short. If you read music, that's a quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, eighth, eighth. so now I'm going to strongly accent the long note. Notice how I'm now using a lot of bow. The bow is traveling a little bit on this one. A little harder to do on the train. You have to do the kind of little catch-up thing, but on the hoedown you actually use a lot of bow to create an accent. But you don't have to. You can use kind of just the press that we used before. The fun thing to do with accents too, a good way to practice it is to make the unaccented notes very quiet, almost like ghosts. Even if you don't end up playing that way in a tune, it'll help you get this. So now practice that on a scale. And so on. Alright. The next one I want to do, and I hope this isn't too much, I hope I'm not trying to do too much in this video, but I'm just going to throw you what I plan on doing and see how it goes. So I'm going to stay on the beat, but we're going to do triplets. So different kind of music. Like triplets are used in waltzes and jigs. And so a triplet is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so we're going to put the accent on the 1. 1, 2, 3. Again, the bow is traveling on the accent. Ghost notes on the unaccent. So you can do that on scales. So if you just practice those 3 things alone, you'll get a lot more command of your instrument and the bow and be able to make the tunes a lot more interesting. You can take a tune like Arkansas Traveler and start to try it on that. Or Kesh Jig. Faster, it'll sound even better. And another kind of cool thing about the accents is if you get really good at them, it'll kind of help you play faster because you can kind of like flow more. You don't have to worry about every note being brought out precisely. Maybe I'm encouraging laziness, but I don't think so. I find that like if I throw in an accent pattern, I can just kind of relax almost when the tempo kicks into gear. You can almost relax and let the accents do the work. And it sounds kind of funny, but it's sort of true. All right, now we're going to do something a little harder. So if you didn't fully get that, please just practice that a ton. Try to make it fun somehow. Practice that. Walk around your house, play the on-beat train, hoedown, triplets, scales, Arkansas Traveler, Kesh Jig. Okay, and any other tune. So now what we're going to do is the offbeat accent, and we're going to start with hoedown. I think it might be a little easier, that's why. And so we're going to go long, short, short, but listen to it. I'm now accenting the first short note, so it's long, short, short. Long, short, short. And that puts the accent on the 2 and the 4. Again, if you look at a drum set, it would be where the snare is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you listen to bluegrass, that's where the mandolin kind of goes, or the guitar. let's slow it down. Bow travels on the accent, and you can use a press. So this accent right here, what I call the offbeat hoedown, is a very central thing for all fiddle music. If you get this, it's like the most important thing you could add to tunes. It just adds a very solid fiddle feel to anything. So please just practice this a ton. Walk around your house. Maybe stand on your roof and play it. Just keep playing it. Add it to a scale. Add it to Arkansas Traveler. Oh yeah, here's something. So let's before adding it to Arkansas Traveler, you should practice something called Slur 2 separate 2. So that's Slur 2 separate 2. Why? Because that kind of creates a hoedown effect. It takes 4 notes, and you slur the first 2 together, and that gives you your long, short, short, long, short, short. So once you get good at that, and I'll put a link to a video for that below, but if you can do that, then you add the offbeat accent to that. That's hard, okay? That might take a little while for you to get. Even if you can do it right away, to have a really just solid, easy feel with it will take a lot of rote practice. Try to make it fun somehow, though. Do a whole scale. Alright, and so now going back to Arkansas Traveler, if you add it to Arkansas Traveler, we can get something like. Let's think about that phrase. So I added, on the first 4 notes, I added Slur 2 separate 2. And that gives the offbeat hoedown effect there. I'm going to just stick to those 4 notes for a bit. Alright, and then after that we have. So add a hoedown there, offbeat. So putting it together. Again. Okay, good. So that's the offbeat hoedown in a nutshell. The other one you can do is train, but with an offbeat. So that would be. So if the downbeat, I'll pick out the 1 and the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I was just playing open D there. Now I'm going to do the train up the scale, but the offbeat train. Here a little quicker. Makes more sense sense quick, but it's harder. This is a harder one, I think. I don't know. Let me know what you think is harder. Tell me. I'm not sure. So let's see. Where's a good spot we could try that out? We did it on a scale. How about Arkansas Traveler? B part. Quicker. Okay, cool. So there's that, the offbeat train, offbeat hoedown. That's really the core of this lesson. If you really can just get that, you'll have gotten, one of the best things I can teach you is that, in terms of a technique for fiddling. The last thing is sort of like gravy. It's a little bit more complicated rhythm, and I'll just show it to you. You can take it or leave it. It's a polyrhythm. I'm not sure what fiddlers call it, but it's kind of a polyrhythm. It sounds like kind of an African rhythm that maybe kind of got thrown in with bluegrass music and American sounds. But basically, the basic rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we still have our pulse going. So I'll slow it down a little bit. So we're doing. Alright? Kind of a nice way to practice that is with cross-string things. Or you could do the flip it. Alright. We could try also just, if I keep the beat going, I can take away all the pulse and just do the accent. Like, try to play along. So that's used a lot in like ragtime music, but also in bluegrass, and a lot of music can be thrown in, and I'm just going to show you somewhere where it's used and not try to analyze it too much. So on Arkansas Traveler, the end of the A part, or both parts, you can use it there. It sounds really cool. I like to do it with a little slur, like. That's one way to slur it. I think that's the way I would naturally do it. A little slower. So, but maybe I should back up and show you a way to do this pattern on a scale. I kind of went out of sequence, sorry about that. I could show you that you could do this. And so on up the scale. You could also do the cross string pattern in a scale-like way, like first on D, now second on D, now third on D. If you can do this, it paves the way for doing lots of tunes, kind of like use these kind of patterns, Orange Blossom Special, and so anyway. The last thing I'll do is I'll give you a way to play this polyrhythm. I'm calling it polyrhythm on a scale that where you kind of you don't do the whole pattern on one note and then move up another note. Like we're going to spread it out across the scale. Like, slow motion we have. And so on. So I think that's a good start with accenting. Again, if you just get the very basic hoedown on the downbeat down, then the offbeat one, I think that you're good to go. Okay, well thanks for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you need to know about this, any other videos you want made, and have a good day, have fun playing. Keep on a fiddling. So long.
Thanks for watching the video.
Excellent!